Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing Ferne McCann's makeup. We did this makeup for her OK shoot when she just arrived back from the jungle. So let's get started. So first off, I used NARS Sheer Glow on her skin. I mixed a couple, so here are the shades, and I used medium 3 and light 3. I might have used something slightly darker on Ferne, but it would have been Sheer Glow. Just because obviously she was really tanned from her trip to Australia. Okay, so I used a MAC 132 brush, and I just start off working down the face, just get the foundation on. I've got really bad skin at the minute, just having a bit of an outbreak, you know what it's like. So in a way it's quite good because I can show you how I cover up my skin when it's like this, because we all suffer with spotty periods, which just isn't nice. It looks really kind of stripy at the minute, but we're going to blend that in, and then I'm just going to go over with some of the lighter one. So where my skin's bad, I just mix in a little bit of Pro Longwear concealer. This is NC20, just gives that a bit more extra coverage. So through here, you just want it to be a bit lighter through this area, under the eyes, and up through the nose, above the brow. This is actually an Urban Decay brush, and it's really nice for just buffing in the foundation. I use lots of different buffing brushes. I really like Real Techniques. They do lovely buffing brushes as well. And then just make sure you get right up into the hairline. My hair is a bit greasy today, so apologies. It normally looks really lovely. I'm having it coloured next week with Samantha from Taylor, who does Zoella and Tanya Burr. And she's absolutely fantastic. Check her out on Instagram. Her work's amazing. You'll instantly want your hair done with her. Okay, so the foundation is on, and now I'm going on to the under eyes. So sometimes if I'm doing a really heavy smoky eye, I'll do this last of all and just leave this area as it is, because I'll get lots of fall down. But this, I can kind of get away with it, so I'm going to show you straight away. I'm using Prep+Prime Light Boost. This is going to change your life. It's the best thing ever. So just, these areas always get really, really dark, so make sure you just go underneath there. And then I just run another little piece along the nose. Ferne always likes her nose contoured. To be honest, most people like their nose contoured. So for the next step, we're going to go underneath the eyes and buff this in. I'm using Fierce Face, and this is E40 Taper Blending. These brushes are by Maria Fowler, and they're lovely. And then I'm just working a tiny bit through the brow. Sometimes I just press with my finger just to push that right into the skin. Right, so now I'm going to go on to some powdering. I love Pale Yellow Loose Powder by Bobbi Brown. Again, just using another blending brush. Just setting all that makeup. I like to use like a little brush for this, just to have a bit more control. I don't like to heavily powder, just a nice little dusting. As you can see already, the skin doesn't really need it, it's not shiny yet. Where I tend to do more powdering is during the shoot, where people get quite a lot of shine on their forehead. But it's quite nice just to tap it on to those spots, because it's got a yellow tone. It cancels out a lot of that redness from the spots. Okay, next I'm going on to my cheeks with a little bit of contouring. I am using NARS Laguna, and I mix it with, this is half me to pronounce, Irresistiblement, I think that's how you say it. These colours work really nicely together, because that's a bit warm just on its own, and this one's a bit flat just on its own. But this gives a really nice kind of depth, and then I warm the skin up once I've applied this. So I'm just using a MAC brush Working into the cheeks, defining everything, making your cheekbones pop, and then up around the edges of the forehead, underneath the chin. And then a lot of people like their nose contoured, so what you want to do is just run from the top of the eyebrow, but don't go into this area where it'll make it look dark and tired. Just like this, very lightly. I don't like to see two really severe lines, and that's a bit unnecessary. Now going in with the warm shade. You can see instantly how it just warms everything up. Just dragging a little bit down into the rest of the face so it doesn't look too sort of like a cut-off point. So I always kind of buff back and forth around the ears there. And let's just drag it down onto the neck. Lovely, that's that done. So for brows, I tend to use, I've got a little HD brow palette, and I tend to use that for my clients. It's weird, I find I have more control with a powder, but on myself I prefer a pencil. So this is Urban Decay Brow Beater Neutral Brown. So I'm trying to grow my eyebrows a bit fuller. Everybody's loving the brushed up effect, and you just want a tiny touch at the beginning of the brow. And then ideally, what I'd like is quite a straight brow. So then I go on just to curl the lashes. So now I'm going on to my most favourite palette ever at the minute. Gwen Stefani Urban Decay palette. I'm just using a little MAC flat brush. This is a 242. Starting off with something a bit lighter, I'm using blonde. So just using that in the inner corners here. Ferne loves a light lid and then a dark contoured socket, and then a really big nice flick. I don't like the lid to be too light, so I'm going in between skimp and stark. I'm actually still finding that a little bit light, so I'm gonna mix in a bit of zone as well. That's the one. You can actually prime the eyelids if you want to with something like Painterly, or Urban Decay do a lovely primer. But because this pigment is very strong, I don't feel the need to. Right, then I go into the socket with Punk, and I just mix it with a bit of zone as well so it doesn't come out really dark. And be careful because they are really pigmented and they do come out very dark. So just build up gradually. This is a little crown brush C139. And it's called a crease brush. And obviously it's going straight into the crease. And then I just make a little V shape at the end. So I'm going to blend it out with the MAC 224. And where you're blending is just on the edge, so you're softening that colour. See that? I'm always going back and forth and adding extra colour. So I'm just going to go back in, pop a bit of skimp onto the eyelids. Now I'm going to use my Prep+Prime highlighter just underneath my brow. You can just use your finger for this. Okay, then I'm going to come underneath the eye with an Urban Decay 24/7 pencil, and this is in Roach. Ferne does not like any liner inside her eyes. Just stop at the hairs here, so I'm not coming all the way into the tear duct. And then I want to seal that in with a nice flat brush. This is 212, brand spanking new. I'm using Punk again. Just lifting the hairs up and pressing right in. And go back in with my blending brush. Just soften that ever so slightly. Okay, now for some liner. I always use Black Track and I use 209 MAC. But today, mixing it up, I'm just going to use an Urban Decay liquid pen. Sort of gives the eye a bit of a natural lift. Okay, going back to a flat brush, I like to just seal in my eyeliner with the black out of the Urban Decay palette. Now I'm going to go on to one of my favourite highlighters ever. This is Moonstone by BECCA. Same brush is fine. You see that? It's gorgeous. And down the tip of the nose. I mean, you can add more and more, but I don't want a super highlighted nose. You might. Personal preference. Okay, now going on to a bit of mascara. This is Extended Play by MAC. Okay, so everybody's favourite Ardell Demi Wispies. Ferne had a set of these. You will need some tweezers. Beautiful, I just love them, they're so lovely and fluttery. Just using a bit of Whirl, everybody loves Whirl by MAC. And then what I do is I use MAC Cultured over the rest of the lip, just inside. Just so the lipstick stays even longer. And then pop a tiny bit of gloss over the top. This is NARS Chelsea Girl, one of my old time favourites. I don't like loads of gloss, just a tiny touch. Don't like big, glossy, wet lips. Okay, and then this is the part where I just go and do any kind of finishing touches. Just feeling like I need a little bit more contour. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Write a comment below, like the video, all that jazz. And please say what you'd like to see, because I'm back now. I've got all the gear. I've got no idea, so I'm having them edited by someone else. And her name is Carly and she's fabulous. And I really like to know what else you want to see. So I've got a couple of things that I'm going to do. But obviously it's all about what you want. So let me know. Thanks for watching.